everybody, and welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club television show. Betty and I are sitting in here going to be doing a little editing because we thought what we would do on this particular adventure is show you scenes from various trips that we've taken over the years. I think that'd be kind of fun, don't you?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see all the places that we've been.
Not all the places.
Well,
we don't have time for all of
but
that.
We're going to a lot of them, and anyway, that will whet your appetite to want to go with us when we go again.
That's right. Yeah, and speaking of going again, we have two trips that we want to talk about right now. The first one that you have
right in front of me
is our Holy Land trip, which is coming up on May the 4th.
May the 4th, and that is almost full. It really is, Mark. I'm not fooling anybody. It really, truly is. I think that we haven't been able to go for quite some time, and so the interest has been so high. Great. And I don't think going to Egypt hurts it either, do you?
No, that's right. In fact, we will be going to Rome, as well as going to Cairo, and of course going into Israel and into the West Bank area. Yeah, but we're staying out of the hot spots, but we're going into the great spots.
I'm excited. Ooh, I'm even spitting on myself. I'm getting so excited about it here.
It's going to be a slobbery show, yeah.
But it is a really neat trip. We will be taking a priest with us for those of you that are Catholic that would like to be able to go to church or to visit the places on a Catholic basis. But that doesn't limit we have many non-Catholics that are going with us, Guntner's included, and hi there.
Or you don't have to have any religion.
That's right, that's right.
You may pick up one along the way, though, especially when we go to the Holy Land, because the Holy Land is sacred to Muslims, to Jews, and to Christians, of all the
it is just wonderful. I keep saying this. I've been there many times, and I can't wait again. Honestly,
it's a very exciting trip. It always is exciting.
Yes, and I think now that, just exciting. That's all.
Okay, that's enough about the Holy Land. All right, the other trip we want to talk about is Greece and the cruise to the Greek Isles, and also going up to Istanbul, right? Istanbul. And you have a little brochure on that?
I just happen to have a brochure with me today describing a little bit about, or showing pictures actually, of parts of Greece that we will be traveling to. And it is going to be exciting. It's going to be different. We've not done this one before.
No, we haven't done this one before. And it looks like it's a very exciting itinerary, I'll tell you. You've been to Greece before, haven't you, Betty?
I have. But you see, I like to have a combination of the cruise and the land. I'm a land person, basically.
It's a little seasick.
No, I don't. I really don't, because I have those things to put on my wrist. But I like to go exploring, and there's only so far you can explore on a ship, you know.
Yeah, but the thing on this, though, you stop at all the various islands and you can explore all over the place.
That's what I like about it. We're going to go to seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, okay, listen.
I'm sorry, you can count without me having to do that, huh?
I don't have to take off my shoes.
You don't have
That's October the 9th through October the 23rd, and so we do have a brochure on that, too. So either of these trips that you might be interested in, give us a call, and then Betty will send these out, too. But tonight we are going to go exploring and a lot of different places where we have been before. This is going to be sort of just an overview of and it'll be a little reminiscent too of some of the places we've been.
What do you call that thing? A kaleidoscope?
A kaleidoscope?
We'll do like that, you'll get little pieces and bits of the places that we've been.
So what do you say, let's do that right now, okay?
Yeah.
So off we go to Ireland, and Betty, look at here are those wonderful thatch roofs that we saw in the town of Adair.
Adair, but they don't say thatched roofs. You know how they say it, don't you, in Ireland?
The Irish don't pronounce the H.
That's right.
They use the H as a silent. Yeah,
attached
roof.
Attached roof. You listen to Monsignor, I think you'll hear attached roof.
He's coming up in just a little bit, too,
and we
to tell us
don't mean
about
attached to the walls. We're talking about thatch, actually.
Yeah, thatch roofs, This was a beautiful little town. I thought, I really enjoyed this. We had opportunity to stop here, and there was a big manor house. There was a big fair that was going on, too, and we had lunch there. This was just a very, very delightful place.
They have a contest there, they won it for the cleanest town.
Oh, the Tidy Town Award.
Tidy Town, right?
Let's listen to Monsignor now, shall we?
We are in this beautiful, picturesque village of Adair at this moment, and as you can see, one of the features of this beautiful little village are the old houses that have been preserved with the thatch on them. This has the thatched houses are dying out gradually, but they've kept them here as part of the history. This is a very artsy town. In fact, this week they have some of the finest things going on in music. James Galway is here that many have heard, and orchestras, and there's 2 weeks of just arts and music, and the town is full of people, and gorgeous day, the flowers and everything, and it's just so picturesque. It's almost like a fairyland scene.
And it wouldn't be a visit to Ireland if you didn't visit a pub like we did here. And oddly enough, we ran into other people from Fresno there.
Isn't that amazing?
Ed and Bonnie
Yes,
Sturgeon.
what fun that was.
Who started to entertain us. Wasn't that
Yeah,
wonderful?
yeah.
This was a great evening. This was, I believe, in Killarney, wasn't it, Betty?
Yes, and this was our driver, our good driver, Ray. This was kind of his habitat.
You
He
know,
sang there for them
Yeah, I
when
didn't
he's not
put this
working.
on this time.
Yeah.
We'll do that on
We'll do
another
another
show.
time.
Had a good voice, didn't
Yes,
he?
yeah. Oh,
And
my
there's
goodness,
Helen.
Helen Winsler that went with us on the trip and had a good. It looks like she had a good time.
Oh, I think
doesn't
she was.
it?
I tell you,
Uh-huh.
we all didn't know the lyrics to all of these Irish songs. So
We tried. We tried.
Oh, we had a wonderful time. This was great. And of course, that's a beautiful area, too. I think the whole country of Ireland is beautiful. And we stopped at the Tipperary Crystal Factory, which is now becoming world famous. And it was very small when we were there. It's only been open for just a few years,
Well,
hasn't it?
you see what happened. They had a strike, and so Waterford was not available for us.
That's right.
So Tipperary, is it Tipperary?
Tipperary
Yes,
Crystal, yeah.
they took over, and they are getting to be as famous now as Waterford.
Well, I think a lot of the Waterford people left and went over there to
Well,
start
that's
that,
right,
didn't
that's
they?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw Earl and Doris Taylor, and I was talking, and I didn't get to say hi.
Well, we stopped at another little place called Shanachie, and as we did, we stopped there for lunch, and some of the people that worked there decided that they'd do a little bit of entertaining, and so they got out there. You noticed it was a very sunny day, and they were all getting sunburned.
Oh, yeah.
That's unusual for the Irish,
for
isn't it?
Ireland. This was, there's Sarah, and my goodness, who's that in the back? I forget now, and I never forget names.
Oh, you never forget names.
No.
My goodness sakes. Of course, you know that's Mrs. Fennessy.
Yeah, artist,
Fennessy, right.
Okay.
Now here we're talking about the thatching or the tatching,
Tatching.
and they were actually doing this to this roof of the Shanachie while we were there. Wasn't that
Oh,
interesting?
this was one of the really fun afternoons. I could have stayed there all afternoon, and unfortunately, there's so much
Wonderful.
to see. You have to be on your way. But this was unique. Look at the little place, and there was real history behind it.
Oh yeah. In fact, we wandered through all the rest of the rooms there and saw a lot of artifacts there, spinning wheels and other things. It was just great.
And the food was good, and
Food
the
was
beer
excellent.
was excellent.
Speaking about beer, we're going now to wine country as we go down the Rhine on one of our cruises down the Rhine River in Germany, and you can see these great big cruise boats that work this up and down, and it seemed like there are hundreds of these because there's so many people who want to take this cruise.
And they had a very low water level the year that we were
Well, they were
there.
having a drought,
Yes,
sort of
they
like
had a
we
drought,
were.
Uh-huh.
But boy, I'll tell you, all you have to do is look up on the hill, and there you see these wonderful castles. Oh, boy.
ABC, another bloody castle.
Lots
it had
of them.
Joe Sanchez and Ted Pretzer.
Yeah, they were having a great
Having a
time
good
there on the end of the
visiting back and
ship.
forth, yeah.
Oh, it was great. And we stopped,
Oh.
of course, and had lunch too, and had time to do a little bit of dancing.
Yeah, I danced with him. It was fun. We had a good time.
With Pete?
And
Yeah,
there's
Pete was a great-
Pete was good. There's
great dancer.
Monsignor and his nephew that he brought out from Pennsylvania to
Uh-huh.
go with us.
This is a great place, I'll tell you. It's a little touristy because it's set up for that, but it's just absolutely wonderful. And we've been there several times in this little particular area. It's right on a little town there that's right on the banks of the Rhine River. But I just enjoy this. I think we've been there when the sun's shining, when it's raining.
We have, you name it.
We haven't seen any fog
no,
there
no
yet.
snow.
No
no
snow. But this is just a beautiful place. And now we're going up to the old castle in Heidelberg. And again, this is just a marvelous place to go
yeah.
through. And our guide, we've had him a couple of times there. This guy he is so hilarious that he just kept us all in stitches. But while giving us a
Yes.
fantastic tour through the Heidelberg Castle.
That's the advantage, really, about taking a tour. We hear people say that they would rather do things on their own, but I've done it both ways. And when you're on your own, you truly don't
miss a lot.
see the
You
things
really
that
do.
you see on a
Yeah.
tour.
And it's and here too. Now we're in Lucerne, Switzerland,
Beautiful
and
city.
this is just a great place. And of course, while we visited here, we went to a show in the afternoon, and I say it was show, it was actually a luncheon, and a lot of our people got up and entertained, and it's just really lots and lots of fun.
And there's Marv and his birds. We don't ever go anywhere that Marv doesn't have pictures of birds.
Well, look, I tell you, you can't go to Lucerne without taking a look at all the swans on the lake there. I mean, this is just
Yeah, but
something.
pigeons?
Well, they just happened. I think they just followed us from place to place, don't you?
All right.
And the beautiful old covered bridge there, and the paintings that are inside that too. That's just a must.
You have to
see.
walk with your neck up in the air, looking up at the ceiling to get the whole panorama of it.
Right. Speaking of panorama, Betty, here we go again, just in the countryside out in Switzerland, and again, it's magnificent to be there in the Alps and see all of these just wonderful areas. I mean, just everywhere you go, like we've said so many times before, sort of, picture postcard perfect. Just every place that you go. But I enjoy these buildings, don't you? And the old barns there, of course. That
I was thinking as we were driving along that some of those places, they look like huge golf courses. Every place you go is a golf course.
I think you're right. And these little tiny streets, of course, through so many villages that you pass through. Again, they're so picturesque. And some of these we went on a Sunday afternoon.
I was going to say, this has to be a Sunday, because other than that, you'd see a lot more traffic.
Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of nice, though, to hit some of these places on a Sundays where you actually then can take a look out and see just a little bit more than you probably would.
Oh, look at.
Way up in the Alps. Isn't this magnificent? This is just so breathtakingly beautiful.
Who says there ain't no God?
Well, I'll tell you, certainly made some beautiful places, and this is one of them up here. We're way up high in an area. In fact, we're up in a ski area, actually, and right across the street from the hotel where we were staying was the little cable car to take you up. Now, this is way down in the valley, several thousand feet below where we had just been. But look at the architecture again, Betty. And there are waterfalls throughout this area.
We were so blessed here, though, because you remember the night we got up to the place, it was snowing.
Right.
And it was very unusual to have the snow. But then we woke up to a fairyland, absolute fairyland.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're going to hop right on over to the Spanish Writing School in Vienna, Austria right now. And this is an interesting thing. I didn't know what to expect when we first went there. It was a little bit different than I had thought. But boy, how these horses are trained, and I guess the riders on this is their full-time job, is working with them.
Well, you see, they travel too with this. This is not a show that you just see there in Salzburg.
No, not Salzburg.
It is not Salzburg.
Vienna.
I'm sorry.
All right, we'll get to Salzburg yet.
Okay, all right.
We'll get there yet. But look at the precision that they have, and of course this goes back for a few centuries.
And this is a ballroom that this performance takes place. And then when they're not having the show, all of the sawdust and stuff goes off and they dance.
Is that right? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they had crystal chandeliers there.
That's right. It is it's converted back into a ballroom again.
Oh my goodness. And right around the corner from that, of course, were the Vienna Boys Choir, which we were able to see on a Sunday. But here we are. And Betty, there was a story about this fountain. On one of our trips, didn't you say you saw somebody taking a bath in there? Some of our adventurers saw somebody early in the morning taking a bath in that fountain. And you never know what you're going to see on the streets of Vienna, huh?
That could be right here. One of our hippies.
A lot of people out on the streets, of course, entertaining there. And we seem to find that now all over the world. Artisans and musicians all over the place.
With their little bottle or their little...
Right. Hey, let's go to a palace right now, shall we?
Okay.
All righty.
This palace, like all the other Baroque residences here in Europe, were in one way or another modeled on Versailles. Versailles was the prototype of a Baroque residence, and all the others all over Europe were in one way or the other modeled on Versailles. This too, and still, it looks completely different. How come? Look at the roofs. The roofs have a very peculiar shapes, the shapes of Turkish tents, because this palace was built for the defeater of the Turks, and the whole world should see that already from the outside. Okay, everyone passing by should know this palace, the Belvedere, was built to honor the man who helped to defeat the Turks, who drove them far into the southeast of Europe so that they were no longer a threat to Central Europe's Christianity and to Vienna. And this palace was built in only 1 year's time, 1721, because Prince Eugene, unlike many other military leaders, would not simply dismiss his soldiers right after a battle, but he saw to it that they had work. And he told them, build me this palace and build me other palaces as well, and that's what they did.
Well, Betty, let's jump across town and go to the Schönbrunn Palace. And, of course, this is where Maria Theresa was, and so many members of her family. She had an awful lot of kids, as I recall.
I think 16.
Yeah, this is a beautiful place. Let's listen to our guide once again, shall we?
Okay.
When the imperial family came here in spring, it was not only the imperial family that came here, but it was also an army of servants. So it was about 2,500 people altogether. And of course they had to live somewhere. So they made sure it was a real big palace. And don't forget that Maria Theresa had 16 children. And each of her children had their own entourage, their own little court. So they had about between 10 and 25 servants looking after each person, each member of the imperial family. So, and then the ministers would live here, and they had the court clergy here and the physicians, and of course dozens of kitchens around here. They had 600 coaches in their coach house. Many of the coaches, by the way, have survived. Now, I must not mention the coach collection because that's closed tomorrow, but that would have been another treat. The coach collection is one of the finest in Europe, historic coaches.
Betty, I just think that those gardens are so beautiful, so beautiful. What do you say now we jump from Vienna over to Salzburg, okay?
Sure.
And I'm going to get set up to take some more pictures. This is in the cemetery, and a lot of you probably might remember this from The Sound of Music, where they shot some scenes in this cemetery. This is just beautiful, I
It was
think.
lovely. And then they had the caves up there on the side,
Yeah.
too, that were really
They were nice.
interesting.
Did you take a ride in a horse-drawn
No,
carriage?
I'm too cheap.
Well, I think that some of our people there, because I remember we took some shots there. This is the main cathedral there. In fact, they were still doing some construction work, if you notice, over on the right
is
hand
gorgeous.
side. Yeah, it really is. This was part of this was bombed out during the war too, wasn't
I've
it?
been back there, and the construction work is finished.
Oh, it is finished
Yes,
now?
uh-huh.
Oh, great.
That's gorgeous.
It is a beautiful place. It is just great. Now, this is beautiful, too. This is the house that Mozart lived in. In fact, I believe he was born in this.
It's not the house that Jack built.
Nope, I don't think so. In fact, the Mozarts, I believe, were renting this particular place. And there's a picture of him and his sister and his father, and on the harpsichord. I don't know if that was the same one that we saw. Don't you love these heaters?
I think they're just
Aren't those
neat. I'm
beautiful?
surprised they don't use something like that today.
They do.
In
I
Europe,
saw
do they?
here in the
Oh,
United
here?
States you can even buy them. I saw ads for that too. It really surprised me, but I think it's a great idea. These are some of the works that Mozart had. These were some of his what do I want to say? Some of his memorabilia there.
Compositions or
Yeah.
something. You know, this was a very popular spot, and all the shops downstairs had Mozart shirts.
Oh,
Their
yes.
T-shirts went over big.
These are just some of the dioramas of the stage settings for some of the operas that Mozart wrote. I didn't realize that he did that many works, and there's part of the museum you can see this. And I just got a few shots here because you're not supposed to take
Marv, you
pictures.
were
Well,
wrong.
no, flash pictures, but they don't want you
sure.
taking videotape
Oh,
either,
sure.
Because last time I went back, this was a trip prior. They wouldn't let you do that at all. Will somebody lose their bag there, Betty? Or is that what you
I
got?
don't know. Probably so. It was left in the shop.
Oh, we're getting ready now for 2 birthdays actually here in the hotel where we were staying in Salzburg. So we're going to get the candles lit and go into the next room where everybody is waiting and having dinner. So let's go surprise somebody, shall we? Well, I'll tell you, I always like it, Betty, when you make arrangements to celebrate people's birthday who's on the trip. So
Oh, it's
just
fun.
wonderful.
It's fun for everybody, you know, those birthday people and the ones that enjoy the good cake or whatever. it
Yeah,
happens to be.
yeah, especially when we're in Europe when they make
Yeah.
the wonderful
Oh,
things like that. This is Salzburg at night, of course, and we're way up at Winkler's, which is a restaurant casino that's on one of the hills there in the town. The other hill, the castle is on, and you know, we're looking down. They've got some bright lights on the cathedral and things there. and
Isn't
it's
that
really beautiful, isn't it nice?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
a great city. That's one of my favorite cities.
People have to travel. That's all. They
You-
have to come and see these places.
And then do like we do at nighttime when it's safe to do that, and that is to go window shopping because
Yeah.
the shops aren't open and you can't go spend your money.
Well, at the prices they charge, it's all I could have done anyway was window shop, but
Really?
it's fun.
This Mirabelle candy, I read now that with Mozart's, being, I guess it was this year, the Mozart, what is it?
Festival or some.
Yeah, 500 years or whatever. Maybe it was last year, I guess. But it's selling like hotcakes, and of all places, Tokyo.
Candy selling like hotcakes. Now that is really something.
Isn't that great?
Do you think they put maple syrup on them?
I don't know. They're loaded with booze in some of them anyway. This is the Swarovski crystal, and I think at one point in our travels we went right by the factory.
I think you collect that, don't you?
Yes, I do. I've got a lovely collection of the Swarovski. It's really nice. And I'll tell you though, you can a lot of things that you could collect there. These shops there in Salzburg are, well, there's some of them are discount shops, and not very many though. You find an awful lot of beautiful items like
The
you're seeing
buyers
here.
bought some things when they were with us, and they debated, oh, should we, shouldn't we? And when he came home, he said, oh, Betty, I'm so glad we did.
Yeah, well, you really feel that way.
Yeah.
I know, you fight with just, should I spend the money or shouldn't I? And then I think you are glad.
And you come home and regret that you didn't.
That's right, if you didn't do it.
I've done
and
that.
you can always use your plastic, so that it seems like anywhere we travel in the world, people will take that, And
Yeah, even thieves.
Right. Now this was a discount store, and they had some carvings. These are beautiful
Yes,
carvings, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, you find so much of that, and of course down in Bavaria too. I think that when we went to the
Oberammergau.
right,
yes.
to see the carvings there. And
That
of course,
looks kind of odd, that particular candle. But
well, there were some rather modernistic things there. This is the Lake District around Salzburg, which is really quite beautiful. The nobility used to have houses around this particular area, and it was a bit of an overcast day. In fact, I think it was early in the morning too when we went out there. But Warner, our guide, is going to explain just a little bit about this particular area.
You can look down the lake a little. This is at this end. There's a settlement here, the village. Otherwise, there's almost nothing around the lake. No houses, no villages almost. They want to leave it as unsettled, unpopulated, as pristine as possible. Just a little. Yeah, these all these lakes around the Alps stemmed from the Ice Age some 40,000 years ago. When the glaciers receded, they left these depressions and filled them with water, and that's what our beautiful lakes are today. Glacier lakes, we call them, from the glaciers of the Ice Ages.
Well, you have to admit, Betty, the lakes around there are beautiful. But
Oh.
another beautiful place,
Yeah.
we'll skip now down to go to Hungary and wind up in Budapest. And this is, I've got to say, you know how crazy I am for architecture. And, well, this architecture.
Yes, you want that?
Not that great. This was left over from World War
Yes.
II.
Look at the
Can you believe that?
shots. Look at the holes
Yeah.
from guns.
That was from World War II.
Do you
Can you
suppose
believe
they're
that?
going to leave it like that, Marv?
I
or is
don't
it
know.
As a lesson, or
I didn't see an awful lot of restoration work going on in
well, it
Budapest.
was
though.
early yet.
That's true. And of course, the communists had just been kicked out. Not too long before we had gotten there, I guess. Anyway,
This is gorgeous
up on this
here.
area, yeah, it is just beautiful. And our guide had told us that the symbol of that eagle had brought the people, the Hungarians, to this particular spot, and that was kind of a monument there to the eagle that brought the Hungarians there.
The eagle has landed. Great book.
Yeah. And I have to say, though, I think both of these cities, which are now one city, Buda and Pest, Budapest, as is now called, is just really, really beautiful. I mean, and we're not going to just see but just a smidgen of it, you know, on today's show, unfortunately. But there's so much history here, and there's, again, going back to the architecture, I think, is just absolutely incredible as you look around this magnificent city.
And you know, we say that every place we go.
I know, but
architecture is so beautiful.
It is. It seems to get better and better. All the places you go. Now look at this. I mean, my golly, what a monumental building this is.
And they're so old. You wonder how, in God's name, they were able to do such a thing.
Well, it just proves that, you know, that the science, I guess, of architecture. Or engineering, is very highly developed and was. Well, go back and look at the pyramids, you know.
That's right.
As far as that's concerned.
Yeah, we're going to do that, you know.
We sure are.
May the 4th.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In fact, we ought to talk just a little bit about that, too, because we're rapidly running out of time. But we do want to tell you that, as we spoke a little bit earlier in the show, that we are going to be taking a trip on May 4th to the Holy Land, to Rome, and also to Egypt. Betty, I want to interrupt here. I just take a look down the left-hand side of the frame.
Yeah.
See this fellow in kind of the jogging suit? He's talking to Bob over there, one of our travelers. That guy's a black marketeer. He's trying to sell some black market products and do money exchange, which is totally against the law over here. And I just wanted to, I didn't know that until afterwards, but here he is. That's what a black marketer looks like.
Looks like an American. But you know,
No,
they
he
have
was
a lot.
Hungarian.
They do have a lot of that going on in all of the cities, trying to sell monies and stuff.
Especially, I think, you know, in those countries that had socialism or communism, you see that. Of course, we saw that in the Soviet Union.
We
you
saw
know,
it
quite
in
a bit
Peru.
too.
It's where it was so noticeable. They stood there in street corners selling money.
Yeah. Well, and they're not supposed to do that, of course. And you're not supposed to be bargaining with those people.
You could get taken.
Yeah, well, not only that, we thought when we were in the Soviet Union we could have been taken up to Siberia had we been caught doing it, you know. Well, when you travel, you never can tell what you're going to come across making a movie.
Isn't that exciting?
I thought it was an English crew because I heard him say "roll 'em" and action, and but found out it wasn't. It was a Hungarian crew there, and they were. I don't know what kind of a movie that they were making, but
science fiction, of course, to be set in Hungary, all spies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. You look around. This was in the gardens there, and that's the film company there. My film, whatever that means. Yeah, these beautiful towers, aren't they pretty?
Yeah.
Again, this gorgeous architecture.
We had a beautiful day.
Oh, absolutely wonderful day right here in the gardens.
And the statue that I'm standing next to is a statue of George Washington. Now, this statue was erected by the Hungarians of the United States in memory of George Washington. And at the same time that this statue was erected, there was one erected for a famous Hungarian, and that was put up in the city of Cleveland. If my Hungarian is correct, it says Washington, erected by the Hungarians of America in the year 1906.
Oh, Marv, this has been fun. I've really been reliving
fun,
all of these things. Yes.
Here's the tomb of the unknown soldier, and we're just getting ready to go. So listen, we do want to remind you, if you want to go with us, we haven't talked about our Greece trip yet, the Greek Isles, and we have so much to do. Anyway, give Betty a call or drop her a line here at Channel 49, the Adventures Travel Club, and our address is 1550 North Fresno Street, and Betty's phone number is
488-7443.
So give Betty a call. She'll give you all the information. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.